Sea of Thieves released in early 2018, and it always looked like an appealing game to me. I mean, an open world pirate game where you can PvP other players, complete quests, and play with friends. It sounds really fun, yet I had never actually gotten the game until about a month ago, and me and a few friends decided to get it and try it out. So I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts of Sea of Thieves and how the game is in 2021, and if you should buy it for yourself. First of all, I think it's very important to point out that this game is so much better with friends. If you have a friend or even a small group to play with, I would absolutely recommend that you do that instead of playing solo. It's fun solo, don't get me wrong, but the game gets a lot more boring when you're just chilling by yourself on a boat without anyone to talk to. Not to mention, you'll be at a huge disadvantage when a group of 4 other players ambush you. You can also play with the random squad if you'd like, but playing with friends is how you'll get the best experience out of this game. The game is also cross-platform between Xbox and PC, so that does make things a lot easier to play with people. The gameplay is fun, albeit not incredibly complex. You get a few choices of weapons, and the gunplay is very basic, yet still quite satisfying. Your only weapon choices are the flintlock, sniper rifle, and the blunderbuss, and a sword. Each weapon has its strengths and weaknesses. For example, the blunderbuss is great at close range, but sucks at everything else. The sniper is the opposite, it's great at long range, but horrible in close quarters. And the flintlock is a nice hybrid between the two, which is what I found to be the best weapon. And you can get any of these weapons right from the start. You don't have to grind or progress to buy or unlock them. Everyone is given the same weapons with the same stats right from the start. So you're not at a disadvantage if you are new to the game, which I think is great. It makes the game easy on new players, but it can also make experienced players feel like they aren't being rewarded for playing for a long period of time. The only form of progression there is are the type of quests you get and cosmetics. Everything you buy with money is purely customization and provides you with no advantage. This was kinda cool at first, just because my friends and I didn't feel like we were at a disadvantage when compared to other players, but it also kind of diminishes your motivation to grind on the game and play for long hours when the only reward you get is a cosmetic. It made it hard to play for long periods of time, and after 15 to 20 hours, we started to get pretty bored because it didn't feel like we were making any real progress. The reward for this game is more the experience rather than working and progressing to get really good gear or weapons. It's also a great game to just chill and kill some time with friends, so this is more of a game for casual players rather than competitive players, which is fine, except that's not something I'm really all that used to in multiplayer games, because every time I saw another player, I just wanted to rush over and fight them, and that could be costly sometimes. PvP can be a big risk in this game, because if your ship gets sunk, you lose your spawn point and will respawn back in an outpost far away, and you'll lose all the loot you have stored in your ship. With that said though, the PvP is a lot of fun. Especially with friends, the PvP is a blast, and it's always a good time when you can mess with some triggered kids in the voice chat.
You suck. Did you hit puberty yet, buddy?
The ship battles are fun, especially in PvP, and it really comes down to whoever has the more supply and better aim. You've got to repair holes in your ship, empty the water, fire cannons, move sails, and of course steer. So your group has to be organized and effective if you want any chance to win a fight. There's also AI ships wandering the map, along with some boss fights that appear in the world, which are a lot of fun as well. There's a lot of unique bosses, and each of them give out different rewards. They're hard and challenging and unique, and you can't approach any 2 boss fights the same because they each have different attacks and waves that you need to deal with. Not to mention, you also have to deal with other players who try to come in and steal the loot from the boss, which makes things messy and hectic very fast. Fights with other players can literally last hours, sometimes just circling each other and trading shots, repairing, gathering supplies over and over again. And sometimes it comes down to whoever has more patience. There were a few times where we got into a fight with an enemy ship that lasted at least an hour, and there were others that lasted 5 minutes. It really depends on the size of your crew and your supplies. Outside of the PvP and boss fights though, what makes up the rest of the game is quests and exploration. The quests are fun, although sometimes felt very easy and repetitive with searching for treasure or killing a certain target, but once you can get deeper into the game, you get some larger and more exciting quests. But for me, the quests were not nearly as thrilling as the PvP. Exploration is a lot of fun though, just wandering the open sea and different islands can be a lot of fun and really relaxing. with the nice breeze and sound of the waves until you get ambushed by some jerks who are too lazy to get their own loot. Oh, who am I kidding though? That was us most of the time.
Yeah.
You guys ready? Go. Go.
The hell? You better kill him. You better kill him.
I got him.
Grab all their stuff. Grab all their stuff.
I killed him.
Part of what makes the exploration so fun is just this game's beautiful, vast world. There's some really pretty sights to behold in this game. Sunsets, dynamic weather effects, with just tons of islands and locations to visit. All the island environments are different and varied with different treasures, enemies, and landscapes. The art style is beautiful. I love the look of the game, and the sea looks fantastic. The waves, the storms, it all feels really realistic and immersive while still having this cartoony and fun art style. Not to mention it runs great on PC. So I definitely recommend Sea of Thieves in 2021, but get a group of friends to play with. The experience is way better and it just isn't the same playing solo, but there's a lot of time to spend and wash away on the seas of Sea of Thieves, along with lots of thrills and action with the PvP and boss fights. This game is also on sale often and relatively cheap since it's over 3 years old now, and it still gets regular content updates and all that, so it's by no means dead yet. So I hope you check out the game, and if you do or have already played it, let me know what you think of the game down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, want to see more like it, I've made a lot of videos like this on tons of different games, then I'd appreciate it if you considered subscribing. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.